There's one activity in this country, Marama, which is really bugging out. It's messing people up, especially guys in the high density areas. It's called gambling. Gambling in Zambia is now legal, and the regulation is based on three main legislative acts. There's the Zambian Casino Act, there's the Lotteries Act, and there's the Betting Control Act.
Are we talking about different types of gambling? Are we talking about casino gambling or placing a bet on the football? Like, what type of gambling are we talking about? It turned out that the husband had had a loss of £80,000, and they were basically running away from the debt that they'd left in the UK. You can't blame the people at the bottom, right? But you can blame the people at the top. Moral bit that we talked about, and people lose their morals when money is their priority. If money is not your priority, you don't have the morals. Who's that guy? Oh gosh, there's a singer who's married to another singer. I can't remember his name. He did stand up on his Instagram profile against, the betting. But what's better, a baddie or betting? Would you sooner lose your money on betting or the baddie? Tell us in the comments, which one would you prefer?
Once again, it's a man with a master plan. They call him Chanda.
Come got the master plan.
That's how we'll be starting this episode.
Oh God, no, please.
Welcome to Zed101. I'm with Malama here, my very special lady. How are you, darling?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Shall we lie about how this week was, or we should just get into it?
I had an amazing week. It was really good.
What did you do?
I traveled to Paris for the weekend. I did nothing.
Zambian politician. Paris for breakfast.
Paris for breakfast. Yes.
And then you came back for lunch. They decided to go to SA for dinner. Okay. There's one activity in this country, Marama, which is really bugging out. It's messing people up, especially guys in the high density areas. It's called gambling. I thought today we should delve deep into the issue of gambling because it's affecting workers and even normal people. Worse still, guess who's affected the most now? Wives and the ladies at home. Gambling in Zambia is now legal, and the regulation is based on three main legislative acts. There's the Zambian Casino Act, there's the Lotteries Act, and there's the Betting Control Act. I don't know exactly what goes on, but you can bet from as little as 0.01
kwacha.
Imagine
I
that.
know.
So if somebody has one kwacha, they're enticed to go and place a bet. Well, fortunately, it's not on a horse like in England and other developed countries, but it's all money-based activities, especially football now. Fantasy
Have you
football.
ever placed a bet?
No, you don't. People like me don't do that because in my thinking, only in this country, only Indians and white people win. Yeah.
Okay.
Last time there was a.
But if non-Indians and non-white people don't win, why do they keep betting?
Fear.
No, you must win something.
Yeah, I suppose. But it develops into a habit which you can't stop. Once the bait you into, once you win once, imagine you placed a bet for 1 kwacha and then you win 10 kwacha. Now, in the small mind, that's a lot of money. But here's where it gets worse. When they legalize the Casino Act, the bigger boys start betting, gambling. The Chinese do a lot of gambling in this country. The Greeks do a lot of gambling, and lots of other business.
But are we talking about different types of gambling? Are we talking about casino gambling or placing a bet on the football? Like, what type of gambling are we talking about?
So I said when the casino thing was legalized, it now meant that the guys with bigger income, disposable income, can now go and bet. So this is why you see people losing a lot of money because they are betting, the stakes are quite high. But what the betting companies realize is that there is a captive market here. The guys who are not doing any work, but have got access to small money. I can't get any work, but yesterday I made money by betting. So they go and place bets. They have got these things happening in the hood, especially in the hood. In the well-to-do areas, the middle class and upper, you don't find betting houses. But if you go into the hood, one XBet is there for you. This XBet is there. The other betting company is there, and that's where the problem is. So the ladies have been hooked. Make 10 kwacha, they go and bet, come out with 20 kwacha, 50 kwacha. It's now expanded to kids. People win and go and start buying alcohol. I'm going to get money. It's my money I made. Go and bet. It's affecting an entire chain of people. So I wanted to get your insights on how betting is, in your opinion, how you think it has affected the low-income groups like in the UK.
Betting is frequently done in the UK. It's part and parcel. Every high street has a betting shop.
Yeah.
And it did go through a period where they had a lot of, not legislation per se, but a lot of rules and regulations put upon them because you were getting a lot of people overspending.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved to Spain in 2000, we met a family while we were over there. They'd also come from the UK. And, like good Jewish family. And got to know them. And they were very, the English word is ebullient. They were very nice, loud, nice people. Anyway, as I got to know them, it turned out that the husband had a loss of £80,000. And they were basically running away from the debt that they'd left in the UK. So like they had to get rid of their house and all these other things. It was him. His father was very wealthy.
Okay.
So he had access to money, but he ended up betting this 80,000, and he just kept like, I can fix the problem. I can fix the problem, and obviously never fixed the problem. £80,000 is, gosh, I don't, how many kwacha?
Probably upwards of 2.5 million kwacha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they basically ran away from the debt. They ran away from the debt and ended up in Spain, restarting their life.
Okay.
Dale's like on one. So so I know the impact that it can have on families, and in as much as they ran away, it was always there at the back of the mind, like how they were and how they operated. She was always on top of him, watching him, like trusting him was difficult. So it's not a great experience when, although people focus on the win, what they don't realize it's the impact on the loss that really has the significance on everyone, families. So
mental health.
Absolutely mental health. It's also this delusion of no, I'll win the next one.
Yeah.
And it's like, you ain't never gonna win. Give it up.
It's so clever how they do it. I don't know, but they really know how to hook you. So our friend Victoria Mupinde is a cognitive behavioral therapist, and she has warned that the levels of uncontrolled betting in Zambia are worrying, as betting is an addictive venture 100%. And a danger to people's mental health. I see this when I have conversations with our driver at the office. He will share that deep in the hood, the whole perception is on another level. All right, telling somebody you can't do this is very difficult because they start in the morning as soon as the bars open. So the regulation is also a problem. If you're going to open a bar in the morning at 10 o'clock, what's going to happen is they'll come and start betting. Because remember now, with the advent of, with online betting, it's easier for people with phones now to do it, as opposed to going to bet on Arsenal game or Man City game. It's very difficult to stop them because you're going to wait until a certain time to bet for that game. Mm-hmm. Now they don't want to wait for that because there's other things they're doing in between because of online betting. So she's saying that it's become very dangerous. And in Zambia now, we think of it as a get-rich-quick scheme.
Absolutely. It's not just Zambia. That's the point. The problem with gambling is you think you can win a large amount of money, which is going to solve your problem.
Yeah.
And you never do. And even if you won the large amount of money, it's never enough. You now want more money, which is how this friend of mine got to £80,000 debt. He could have stopped at £2,000.
When was that? What year was that?
2000.
That was, our friends were still in the EU then.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Isn't there a connect, as in if this one flees, they can still catch them?
No,
There's
I don't
nothing like
believe
that.
so. I don't believe so. Not on the gambling side of things. And I can't remember what specifically where the debt was. It's not on a gambling side. It was maybe like not paying your mortgage, or where you take money from
For the
from one
mortgage,
thing to go put it into gambling because you think you can solve the problem. Yeah.
the hook is when you win. So when you win £10,000 from a £2,000 bet, you're thinking, instead of me getting that money, taking it back there, like, let me bet the whole amount now.
That's what I
Because now from the 2000, I got 10. So if I do 10
Yeah,
clearly,
if I do it again, I can make X, and you're always going for a bigger amount.
okay.
It's like drugs. It's never enough, right?
Okay. In your view, the effect of betting on your mental health leading to suicidal thoughts. I mean, these guys now they fled
It's
England
not just suicidal thoughts, suicide.
itself.
People do kill themselves.
Any chance of, so what would happen if they got back? Is the guy would face arrest? Or what would be the consequences?
It's not necessarily that. It's that you've left a debt and the owner of the debt is pursuing you. So you get your red letters, you get the debt collectors coming to the door, you get the embarrassment of your neighbors seeing these people coming to your door. It's more around that. It's the reputational risk that you end up trying to deal with. And that's what they were running away from. They were, like I said, a Jewish family, London-based Jewish family. And, the Jews in London have a heavy presence.
Yeah.
And like I said, the father was very wealthy. So it was quite it was a hit on the reputation of the family.
And he refused clearly to bail him out.
I think so. I can't remember specifically what happened, but basically, you've got yourself into this problem. I'm not bailing you out. And I think the father had bailed them out previously.
So here's the thing. The behavioral health specialist says policymakers need to look into this. So for me, I find it very strange to balance it off, because first, an act is passed to allow these things. The same people are the ones who say, this is fine. Why would you now start going back and say, can you now relook this thing?
Because what was the incentive initially to allow betting, right?
Yep.
And I guarantee the incentive is a financial one.
Yes, tax and
And
whatnot.
then after that, it's still what's the financial implication? Because now it's no longer a license fee, right? Now it's actual people have no money. And if people have no money, the government has to then, you don't get it so much here, but in the UK, if you lose all your money, you start getting your own benefits. And now benefits are just another way of taking money out of the coffers for the government. So you end up in this situation where you're like, the government starts to say, okay, these people, these are all down to gambling. These people are now on benefits because of gambling. So gambling is now an issue. We need to deal with that issue. Whereas here, if you don't have money and you've lost your money gambling, does the government care?
I would agree with you. I don't think they care, because that's why this expert is saying, can we go back and change this thing? But then again, they are making so much money regarding tax and other collections the government will make in order to make money.
And don't forget, these companies come and they bullshit you and they say, oh, we're going to give 10% towards our charity, which supports local Zambians in blah, 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 blah. They try and justify it in a bullshit way that what they're doing is still adding value back to the community.
I think one of them is supporting a basketball team now.
You see?
So I think from that perspective, if you go to the basketball team and say you can't align yourselves to this, it's difficult, because guess what? They're pumping in money.
But that's the problem. So you lose your morals because of money.
Yes.
When I used to, well, I still do, but when I look for a job, I used to get people from gambling companies phone me, especially based in Gibraltar.
Yeah.
And I used to refuse because my one small
Phone you
principle.
for what?
Huh?
Phone you for what?
Jobs.
Okay.
Yeah, my one small principle that I have is I will not work for betting organizations because they destroy families.
So betting
So now
organizations.
if you guys, as just because they're sponsoring you, you're willing to overlook that money 1.01 kwacha of the money that you receive for sponsorship came from this man's family where he didn't pay his wife. And maybe the guy even committed suicide. Like, that's the follow-on bit that people don't look at.
I want to look at something, but before I check that out, maybe I want to throw to you how easily managed it is in the UK, because football teams like West Ham United are sponsored by Bet365. And I remember in the beginning, it wasn't so easy to allow it to happen.
Yeah,
So
but-
how did they transition to that?
Money. Do you know who the highest paid female CEO is in the UK?
I don't know.
You
But
don't know?
I know you're going to tell me.
Well, I don't know her name. I've forgotten her name, but it's a woman.
And
She's the highest paid female CEO, and she earned 218 million. 218 million pounds.
218,
Yes. Pounds, not kwacha.
not dollars, not euro.
Pounds.
Two-
She's the highest paid CEO. She has received an MBE, which, in the UK they give out
For
these
earning
things.
a lot of money.
For being something, I don't know. But again, they lie and they go, she sponsors, what is it? They said that 1% of their
Her income.
profits go towards local communities. I'm like, yeah, the ones you're destroying. But they validate these
To
things
my
on the
rehab
one
centers.
hand. They didn't even justify which type of, But in the end, it's just their way of looking on the outside like they
Yeah.
are innocent,
I'm trying to, you and I always try to fact check and get our stuff right. But unfortunately, your favorite MTN also is just,
We're not playing ball today.
no. Our 5G from Airtel. I don't know if it's 1G or no G at all, but
We need to go back to smoke signals.
yeah, we
And
need
pigeons.
to ask our friends, the Indians, how they were doing it. To be easier for them. But I can't get any signal here, so really, I don't know what's going on. I needed us to explore deeper into what's going on, the discrepancy, and yet it's allowed because it's not sounding good. But the power of money,
Yeah.
the power of money winning over a massive football team like West Ham, which has got a lot of followers.
I mean, okay, look, you have to look at it in a different way. All football sponsorships are about a company coming to you and they say, you've got Adidas there that you're wearing, right?
Yes, All
This
Blacks.
particular shirt, let's say it's a 1-year shirt that they do.
Yeah.
The All Blacks will then say to Adidas, you've got a 1-year contract. You're the one we're putting on the shirts for this year's new shirt, right? Mm-hmm. The same happens with the gambling companies. Now, Adidas comes to you and they say, we'll give you 1 million. And Bet365 comes and says they'll give you 5 million. Which one are you going to take?
So what's going to happen is a shirt will be made by Adidas for that 1 million, and the sponsor will be Bet365.
But you're splitting hairs on what I'm trying to say, right? The value of the sponsorship in total, the majority of it, where does it come from? The money that goes into the pockets of your FIFA people and all these people, it's not on what's on the shirt, is where the money goes to when they receive it. So where does the majority of the money go that All Blacks, when the money they receive?
For
Not
this.
not sponsoring, not creating the shirt. The money that goes in the bank account,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
That's the money that counts. And if Bet365 is going to give you twice the amount that Adidas has given, then they get twice the amount of money, which means now they can offer more money for Mr. Wonderful 365. Sorry.
Bet365.
No, like a fantastic All Black player, right? All
Yeah,
Blacks player.
yeah.
So they have more money to get another player. Now that's the circulation of that money. So Adidas are going to give some money, but don't forget Adidas have been doing it since 1980, whatever.
Yep.
Bet365, they're slightly newer companies, so they have to pay more to be the ones that are selected to go onto the shirts or to get the sponsorship.
Yeah, but I also know from a moral perspective, there are some football teams that refuse that.
I hope
think
so.
I think Barcelona only accepted or still accept anything to do with UNICEF. Anything else,
Interesting.
no, seriously. I
Yeah.
think they refuse to be associated
That's
with.
good. That's showing that you've got morals, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
You're not just about money and corruption because football is
What?
Basically, money and corruption.
Football.
Yes, sir.
Football is
Why are
about
you
money
denying?
and wele.
Yeah, for you spectators who think you have anything to do with the teams, the people who make the money. They're the ones who money and corruption.
Ha.
Wa papa.
Aish, 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 aish. we have had a few cases in Africa regarding corruption and soccer.
Yeah.
So
FIFA is a big issue.
FIFA.
Did you not watch the FIFA documentary at the beginning of the year on Netflix?
I'm playing dumb.
Okay, good.
No, I'm just playing dumb. Yeah, it's anything that involves this.
Absolutely.
There's underhand methods, backroom conversations and stuff like that. But what would you say would be the easiest way to try to sort out this issue? The moral fiber not being contaminated by the strength of the betting companies,
It's a very
especially in the
difficult
hood
one.
where there's.
It's a very difficult one. It's nothing to do with the people at the bottom of the funnel, right? People will always bet because it's inherently the nature. It's like saying you can no longer have sex. Like that's never going to happen, right? Humans need to have sex.
So your
And
example, why?
betting is a similar thing.
You should say
Humans need to bet.
you should say you can no longer eat.
Okay, but eating is a necessity. Betting is not a necessity. Sex is not a necessity.
Hey,
Exactly. I
hey,
knew you were
you
going.
can ask Balthazar. Oy. He's 400 and counting.
That you know of.
400 and counting. Non-documented, non-recorded,
The
another
ones who
300.
did not make the cut.
Yes, the ones who said, okay, we can hit it, but
Exactly.
no video.
He's the one who said, yeah, but
you
this
would-
one is not on
You
video.
would have been nice on video anyway. Yeah, but carry on. Sorry, we digress.
Yeah, so I was saying about you can't blame the people at the bottom, right? But you can blame the people at the top. Now, if you don't have morals that you can work for a betting company, that's number one where it starts. And again, I always go back to greed, power, and influence, right? These are the things as you go up the
ladder.
pole, the
Yeah.
ladder,
Yeah.
they become stronger and stronger, So if people can't stand up for their own morals, which is why I was surprised at the Barcelona thing, I think that's wonderful to stand up and say things like
Yeah.
that. But do you remember when cigarette companies were banned from advertising,
Yeah.
certainly on motor racing?
Yep.
It's a similar thing. If you don't stand up and do something, then it will just continue. It will perpetuate.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at that because I realized this thing might not work while the phone might work. The problem that we've had with everything is just not working today. The problem that we've had is that the impact of smoking was so hard that I think by the time they realized how bad it was, they were probably on their number 8 Marlboro Man. You remember the Marlboro Man?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Marlboro Man. But they'll never tell you that this guy's got cancer, this guy's got emphysema, he's doing what. They'll just get a new good-looking guy.
I don't know if they have it here, but in the UK, you have photos of lungs that have been destroyed by smoking, cancer of the mouth, people who are the body's dead and they're showing you a dead body, and that is on the cigarette pack you're buying, and it says,
Really?
smoking kills, smoking causes cancer, and motherfuckers still buy it. So that's what I mean. You cannot blame the people at the end of the chain, but at the beginning of the chain you can. And then that's where you got like people going, oh, well, we'll add filters to the cigarettes, and oh, we'll do e-cigarettes, and like people always trying to find another way of doing it.
The reason you are saying, what you are saying is very good, because now, after realizing the deadly impact, everything that we're trying to reinvent is also being checked. Vaping is being checked. This is being checked. Betting is probably going to be better regulated there than here.
Yeah.
By the time I realized Marlboro Man was probably number 7, I was like, what's the impact? Because, I don't smoke. But my dad used to smoke, and I was like, this is terrible, this is terrible. So, we used to do all sorts of tricks to make sure that he doesn't find his cigarettes at home and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's the worst thing, because then you want it even more.
So then one day, it just clicked. Like, I haven't seen Dad smoke. has that stopped smoking? I did not even know when he stopped smoking, but it's been months actually when he stopped. But when it comes to betting, our internet is working now. Our MTN is working. This is what they're saying. The most popular sports betting sites in Zambia are primarily Bet Power, Betway, CastleBet, BolaBet, and Bet365. These guys are in every area you can think of.
I know.
It's terrible.
They've got the biggest signs that you're seeing, and and
Because for me, I don't bet, I don't gamble. It's just not something I relate to. But I'm very aware of these things, and because I work in marketing, so
Yeah.
seeing that the biggest marketers are betting companies, it's a huge problem. I know that. But the thing with Zambia is there's always turning a blind eye, right? It's the better company to work for because you'll actually get paid probably consistently, right? It's the better company to allow you to go maybe work abroad because they'll have more than just a Lusaka-based company. They'll have other places. You can work in tech there. You can work in the shop. Like there's so many options with working for a company like that. It does provide a form of stability at the expense of someone's life.
I find it very strange because the real celebrities, I'll call them with quotation marks, do not align themselves with betting. But in my country, our country, it's now every silly comedian has to use my promo code and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, from a moral perspective, when you know you're damaging people, I mean, why would you want to be doing that?
but that's the moral bit that we talked about.
And people lose their morals when money is their priority. If money is not your priority, you don't have the morals. Who's that guy? Oh gosh, there's a singer who's married to another singer. I can't remember his name. He did stand up on his Instagram profile
Yeah.
against, the betting. And I do hate it when any of these Zambian influencers is promoting betting because it's the lowest common, it's like the lowest hanging fruit. It's easy to get a betting contract. You need to be just a bit good with your social media profile and then they'll give you some money because it's nothing for them. Paying you 5,000 kwacha to post on your profile. What is that for a gambling company?
It's nothing.
No.
Yeah, so they'll hire you, and I don't know if it's just not having the right moral compass, but maybe
It is part of it.
yeah, but also just poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Barcelona have got Spotify now.
Ah,
Got Spotify. It's much better than a betting company.
well, absolutely.
Okay, so as we head to the close of this thing, do you think there's a bigger challenge you would have against government if you stood against the sudden proliferation of betting companies?
I think you have to start making noise, right? There's the saying, the squeaky wheel gets oiled. If we don't hear the noise, we don't know there's a problem.
I hear noise. The cow there makes so much noise. My gosh, it's never oiled. Is that the right noise?
So yeah, if you have to start making a noise, you have to stand up on a moral ground. And quite frankly, you're such a Christian nation, you should be totally against gambling. Gambling should not even be allowed. That's a sin, isn't it?
Huh.
Isn't gambling a sin? Right? So as a
Oh.
Christian nation, why do you have betting companies proliferating everywhere?
Well, that's because the people who make these decisions are the first people they bet on. The betting companies are like, I bet you if we give,
By betting, you
That-
mean a brown envelope.
I bet you that honorable, we say honorable here.
Honorable.
That honorable. He's the one who sits on that committee that allows this and that. So let's get to them. Betting I think it was okay at a certain point until the government-owned betting company died.
What is it called again?
Piccolo.
Piccolot.
Yes.
Oh,
Remember the
I
little
remember
nice
it
advert?
fondly.
Yeah,
Yes.
it meant it.
I was in a
just-
Yango, a roundabout when I first came, and the driver was maybe like 23 or something. And I saw the big signs. This is what I was saying. I could
Yeah.
see the bola bit, the whatever.
Yeah.
And so I said to this guy, is Piccolo still around? And he looked at me like, what are you talking
What's
about?
speaking a lot? Yeah, ancient you.
Right?
You are from the Jurassic age,
Nearly.
Cretaceous age, and the
Nearly.
Shanid, yeah. Yeah. Girl, 23-year-old. Come on, man. Why? What were
I had just come back.
what
How
were
do
you
I
doing asking the
know?
Yango driver his age?
No. I didn't specifically ask him his age. He was around about that age.
I don't know about
Maybe
that.
I wanted to do a ngonga on him.
Yeah. Oh gosh. So at some point, we need to come to an end. And I'm thinking
Especially because the tech is like, I'm so over you guys. The tech is done with us.
is it?
Yeah.
Is this machine not working?
Anyway, carry on.
The other one is dozing.
That one is snoring away.
Oh my God. No, we thought we'd discuss a bit of things that happen around the country. Remember, one of the things that the objectives of Zed101 is, it might be small, minute, and not really relevant, but it's something that we need to bring out. It's affecting our workers, all right? People start running away from where they live, and people go in and find their kids there alone and say, where's your dad? Where's your mom? They're like, no, he's gone to work in Mumbai, when he's just hiding from people who want to collect money they've lost on bets. The big guys bet houses, their cars, and it trickles down to the workers who hear that, no, the boss, you don't see that car anymore, or the betting company got it, or they lost it at the casino. And because they've made it so cheap, I think regulation should change. They need to upscale and say, look, these are the minimum entry levels. The way, like Kagame has said, look, if you're going to do a church here, this is what I want.
100%.
You just can't wake up tomorrow and become Pastor John Pope or something. That's what I think. And that's one of the things that at Z101 we need to look at. It might be small, might be inconsequential, but let's start the conversation around it. Unless you've got a different opinion, but I think that's one of the reasons,
I
yeah.
agree. I think, like I said, it's about creating awareness of the problem. And the more people who talk about the problem, the more it grows, that we can then put it forward to government and say, no, this weed does not fly. You know, it's no different to them giving licenses to primarily foreigners to do the mines, because the mines bring in money. The Zambians have less money to invest in the mine. That's why they always go, why do Zambians not get licenses? Because they ain't got no money, right? The level of investment that a foreign company brings in is a lot higher, and that's what the governments focus on. More money in means more money in my pocket.
In their pockets.
That's what I meant.
Yes, that's fine. So maybe next time we should bring in something more to your taste.
Like what?
Something salacious.
I do salacious. I do very serious. I'm flexible.
Okay. We're going to ask our friend to bring us a baddie.
So shall we put a call out to some baddies?
Please do, please.
Are you a
please.
baddie? Do you have a 10-point strategy to becoming a baddie? We want to know, how does one become a baddie? Eh?
Actually, she wants to know.
Do you want to do a masterclass in being a... Come. You can come and show us. The guys behind the screen are like, yes, please. Yes.
I want to bet on you as a baddie.
So, yes.
No, it's important to discuss these issues.
But what's better, a baddie or betting? Would you sooner lose your money on betting or the baddie? And tell us in the comments, which one would you prefer? Which one would you prefer?
Because I'm part of the show, I will not answer that.
Oh, cop out. Cop out.
Why would I want?
Realistically, would you not sooner lose your money on a woman?
That's 10,000 kwacha.
Oh hell no! I'm not losing money.
Rather than,
No.
so you prefer to lose it on betting?
I'd rather lose it on a bet.
No, that's a lie.
Yes.
That's a blatant lie. Then you don't like women. Yeah?
The lessons of the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
That's still euros.
But so's betting. It's also in the Bible.
Aish, where does it say? Kuisa.
I don't know.
You must watch your Bible.
I still don't like gambling.
No, gambling it's a problem. It's a problem. The World Health Organization.
At least you experienced an attractive, hot woman when you spent this money and you're left with memories. But you go to put on a bet. What do you have?
I'll bet better next time.
I'm doing a plea for baddies here. Spend your money on women, not on gambling. I think that's a much better option.
Bet. Because
On
if
your
you lose,
woman.
bet because if you lose, you don't get to kill anybody. If the baddie just does some nonsense on you, you're gonna chop off her pointy head, her pointy bit of the front bit.
Okay, you start by betting.
Betting for me, baddie for her.
Put your money into women.
Anyway, if you're a baddie out there and you want to participate, come and convince us that being a baddie is good. Baddie is a nice way of saying how. Peace.
Guess we're out.
Yes, we are.